Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
Good evening, one and all. Welcome to the Toon Review. Billy's just joining us there, getting himself sorted. Welcome to the Toon Review, where it is the Newcastle United 2, Arsenal 0 match review. And of course, a fantastic match review as it is, because it was a superb occasion at St James's Park last night. Billy, well done on the watch along, mate. Watched it back today. I know you had internet worries, but don't worry about that. The commentary was fantastic, and there's a lot of good feedback. So the commentary was superb, mate. So well done. Don't worry about the internet. We'll sort you out with the camera, and everything will make a massive difference to that.
I think it's somebody in the comments time-stamped the goals in your video. So if anybody wants to see the reaction, Billy's reaction to the goals, somebody was kind enough to timestamp them. So
I saw that. Yeah, thanks for that fellow who did that. Brilliant.
But well done, mate. The commentary was superb, so well done on that. And Alex, you were there. It was an occasion to behold before the game. I mean, there you go. Look at that outside the ground last night. The atmosphere was electric outside the ground as well as in it. And of course, you get in, and then you're greeted with this. Absolutely unbelievable it was, at both ends of the ground, all the way around. You don't get that anywhere else in the world, Billy, as far as I'm concerned. You do not get that anywhere apart from St James's Park.
It's unique, isn't it? In fact, it's Toonique. Let's say it's Toonique.
Toonique,
an amazing visual experience on the TV alone.
Yeah.
Lord knows what it was like actually inside the ground. I'm jealous of you both. But it looked awesome on the TV. Absolutely awesome. It really did.
It was. Listen, I've been there a lot of years, and I have never experienced an atmosphere like that for a long, long time. But just around the ground, going into the ground. We'd hope the lads would win yesterday, but we certainly did not expect a performance like that, Alex, and just did not allow Arsenal to play from the get-go.
No, I mean, I'm going to be mean and say I 100% expected a good performance from them. I was confident in my 2-1 prediction. I was boisterous with the lovely Aussie Arsenal fan the other day. I was adamant that we were building to peak. The lads were ready. We'd got people back fit, and they were ready to go for the throat. And it happened, and the Arsenal were not ready for it, not ready for the intensity or quality that we showed in pretty much every area of the pitch. And we fully deserved it. We deserved more. I mean, the goal that went down as an own goal, because it's an own goal, didn't give us any XG. So in theory, our XG should be closer to 3 goals, never mind the 2 that we actually scored. So absolutely incredible.
That volley from Callum Wilson from about 40 yards out. I mean, Billy, I remember your commentary on it. It was, it was as if it was going in slow motion, wasn't it? Because Ramsdale had given up. You said in your commentary, Billy, that Ramsdale thought it was in.
He did, absolutely did.
From the leasers where I was sitting, Ramsdale was struggling, and I thought that's dipping, that's going right in the bottom corner. And it just went wide. But that's what Callum is capable of.
This is why stats aren't always important, because that got logged as 0 XG. Everybody who knows football was on their seat edge, because it doesn't matter what XG says. That was...
But Billy, what a difference Callum Wilson made. I mean, you can just see the gulf in class between him and Chris Wood, and how many how many runs. Yeah, he was offside a couple of times, but that's because he plays right on the shoulder of the defenders. And he gave those two, he gave the whole Arsenal back line an absolute nightmare last night, didn't he?
From minute 1 to minute 90, when he actually stayed on the pitch for 90 minutes, I was amazed. He come off in injury time. But like you say, the whole of that time, he never give the Arsenal defence a minute's rest. He was harrying every ball. He was running into space. He was giving them things to think about. Most of the time, they couldn't keep up with his train of thought. He was way ahead of the Arsenal back four. He was phenomenal last night. That's probably the best I've ever seen him in a Newcastle shirt.
I'd agree.
Centre forwards performance, all round centre forward. It was just phenomenal.
100%. Trolls, thank you for your 100 Norwegian krona, mate. So kind of you. Thank you. He says, how are the lads? What a brilliant game. Love this channel. Thanks, dude. By the way, I'd just like to make a big shout out to Leon Gill, who I sit next to. Quite a few people will probably know his daughter, Amber Gill, who won Love Island a couple of years ago. I sit next to Leon at the football, and sadly his mum passed away on Sunday. So he was extremely upset last night, as you can imagine, especially before the game with all the music playing and things like that. But it was Newcastle put a show on for him, and we were thankful of that. But big shout out to Leon and his family, and thoughts are with you, fella. And hopefully, you can think of the good times and just, see her off well, as Newcastle did for her last night, like we said at the game. So a big shout out to Leon and the family. Thoughts and prayers are with you, my man. Stay strong. Love you to bits. Zishan, thank you very much for 17.99 super chat. He says, never seen an atmosphere like that before. That was just beautiful. All the players were magnificent. In fact, the owners to the players to the fans. What I got the feeling was, Alex, that we said this last night, that it was more a celebration of what had happened throughout the season. All the sort of horrible cancer at the club had disappeared, and it was now, it was blossoming again. It's ready to rise. And, if anything, that made a massive statement last night. But we've already had a commentator, from James, saying that it was annoying how the media were saying how bad Arsenal were instead of how superb Newcastle were. And that seemed to be the general case across the board of the media. They were all talking about how Arsenal were so poor, but never mentioning why they were so poor, because we got stuck in. Arsenal hate the physical side of the game 100%. They have done for years, and they bottled it completely. Before you answer that, Alex, Stephen Fraser, thank you once again for a magnificent £100 super chat. That is absolutely incredible, Stephen. Thank you so much for your continued support on the channel as well, mate. It's so much appreciated. Thank you so much. Really kind, my man. Thank you. Also, a big shout out to Ian at Toon Trader. We are going to be doing some. I met him last night for a couple of hours at the Earl of Pitt Street pub, just up from St James's, which is really nice. Had a few shandies in there before we went to the match.
Yeah, I was a bit late. My apologies.
Yes, you were, but never mind. But me and Michael were there and sat with Ian and his little lad for a couple of hours. It was great. And we're going to be promoting some stuff for Ian on the channel with regards to the charity that they're going to be doing. So that's all to come, but a big shout out to Ian as well. Julie's in the house. Good evening, all. What a result. What a performance. How are the lads? Enjoy the show. Keep it respectful. Show some love. Click the like button and sub and join the Toon Review family. Indeed. Spider says, what a great night, and the team did us all proud. Yeah, go on, Stato. What about this media loving about Arsenal's bad performance?
Yeah, I mean, it was to be expected, to be fair. I'm going to spin this in a positive way, actually. A few of them, there were a few journalists and pundits and whatnot that were either, whether it was on Twitter or whether it was on other platforms or on television, there were a few that started to just say, wow, that was really special.
Yeah,
they're a good side. That was decent. So it looks like it has begun. They are starting to go, oh, okay then. Because we have been thinking to ourselves, how long is it going to take for them to treat us a bit more seriously or with a bit more respect?
Yeah.
So when we can not just pinch a win, when we can absolutely blow a team off the park that are a traditional Big Six side and currently challenging for a Champions League place, it's starting to become a thing. Obviously, a lot of pundits are very biased and distracted with their own clubs at the moment. Fair enough. but we're becoming harder to ignore now because we just keep impressing. We've had a few blips along the way, as to be expected, with but just the quality we showed. It was the way the match played out, the amount of chances. I mean, just doing my research when I got back, Targett tried 17 crosses. 17 crosses.
And we have to say, massive
Wow.
hats off to Maxi for that, because he laid the ball back numerous times last night.
He was instrumental in that.
Yeah.
Three words. Keep it simple. That's exactly what he did.
Exactly.
13 out of 13 passes. He didn't put a pass wrong. 6 out of 8 dribbles. He kept it simple. He wasn't as involved as he normally is, but
but that's the Maxi we want to see, Alex. Who doesn't try and do too much. I thought, like you said, Billy, he kept it simple and he didn't try to make things difficult for himself, and that worked for him because he had a much better impact on the game. Geordie Metal, thank you very much for your £20 super chat. There's no comment there, but thank you very much for your donation, mate. Much appreciated. James says, just like to say, Longstaff proved us all wrong last night. We got to see what Eddie Howe sees in him. Look, I wouldn't get carried away too much on Longstaff yet. Yes, he had a great game last night, as they all did. But when he's had opportunities, he shied away. Now, hopefully, maybe Eddie Howe sees something and they can work something out. And because if he plays like that in the future, then you never know.
He was instrumental in the press. He was very important.
That beautiful ball through for Wilson for the second goal, the little clip ball, the way he turned the man and then flicked it through, it was bloody brilliant. And if that's what he's capable of, and again, similar to Maxi, these are what we want to see from these players. They were completely up for it yesterday, and it makes you sort of ask the question with Longstaff: was he asked to play further forward yesterday because he was bombing forward like he hasn't done in the past? Yeah. And my view, of course, is that I thought he was a number 10 anyway. And he played like that last night for me. And he was much better, had a much better influence on the game. He still lacks a yard of pace, but, whatever.
I've got a funny assessment of him. And it's, he's been asked to play as a John Joe Shelvey, as a Willock, as a Bruno, whenever he's played this season. And last night, it felt like he was told to go and play like Sean Longstaff. He played his game, and he looked a lot happier, a lot more confident, first touch. It looked, if we can get anything like that out of him consistently, then he can stay here for 2 or 3 years, because we need a big squad, and he's homegrown. So, we can't get rid of everybody in 1 or 2 years. So it's nice to see that he can step up, because, he was up against Odegaard and Emile Smith-Rowe. He didn't have awful in front of him. He had to grind. It wasn't just that they were so
and he helped make Miggy have a better game as well. He really did link up well with Miggy on that
he
right
supported
side.
Well. Indeed.
Really well.
Seattle Geordie, thanks for your $10 super chat. He says, hi all. Must admit, I was a little teary-eyed watching the lap of thanks. I had a Green Temple moment of flashing back to Dodson 0-2 up at the half to come back and win 3-2 and win the Fairs Cup. Listen, if you weren't emotional in that ground last night, you have a serious problem. The lap of appreciation was just magnificent. I mean, seeing the family on and all the little lads running around, and Kieran Trippier playing football with them, tripping them over and sliding in and making a big fuss of all the lads' sons and daughters was just incredible. This. Where is it? I've deleted it by accident. What a sham. What a sham. But this one, look at this. I mean, you know what? These are the owners, guys. These are the owners of the football club. And look at the relationship with the players. Previous regime, they never saw Mike Ashley. He was just this kind of fat air balloon figure in the background who did naff all for the football club. And then this at the end. I mean, me and Dad,
it's some dude is.
Came to the Leazer's end and threw himself into a bunch of kids in the corner, just jumping on them and celebrating together. And then Amanda around the other side on the East Stand, taking the time to shake fans' hands and get pictures with them. Absolutely incredible. And, that's what they clearly wanted, this football club. They wanted togetherness, Alex. And I think that's plain for everybody to see what they want now.
Yeah, I mean, she saw the potential in the city and the fans. I mean, everybody who you mentioned about the kids after the full-time whistle had gone. That is how we make players bleed black and white and stay with the club and understand the project, is when their sons and daughters score a goal and 30, 40,000 of us are cheering that, they'll never forget that. And it's about the memories and the connection. You know, we now have the platform for those top players, and we can provide that emotional feeling and a connection to a club as well. It's not, and no disrespect to Man City, but I do feel like we offer a little bit different things in terms of emotional connection. It's a bit different.
Yeah, it's more personal.
And I feel like this will, you know, any potential players all around Europe watching that last night, deciding should we go to Spurs, Arsenal, West Ham, or us. I mean, if you look at the new signings and how happy they are, not just for their footballing career, but just how happy they are. It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's so good for owners, us. They you're right. The owners 100% understand what is in front of them, and they are playing every card correctly.
They get the fans already as well. They get the city. They get the fans. You know, they get the whole club. This one, I mean, what a photograph! I mean, it just superb. I've never seen that done before. You know, at St James's, where they've all got the families and they're all lined up. You know, like that. In front of the Gallagher. I mean, it doesn't get any better. It really doesn't. And, you know, some of those kids, you know, if they're old enough to remember, will remember that for a long time, as will the players and the players' families. And that's what got me last night, put a lump in my throat, the unity of the club now, where we've never had that, Billy, for 15 years. And suddenly the unity's there. You know, the support was incredible, but the togetherness is back at the football club.
I'll go a step further than that. I've said about the fans being unique and the atmosphere being unique, but our owners are unique also. And they've come into a new set of circumstances for them, buying a football club with huge expectations. They're managing that to perfection. They've left no stone unturned as far as new recruitment's been settled in perfectly. Every one of them seems ecstatic at being at Newcastle United. And it's something we've not seen for a long time. Absolutely. And long may it continue. And I think it will continue. I think we're going places, and we've got the money, we've got the right people. Yeah. You know, it just can't fail, can it? It just can't fail.
It can't. And, you know, it may take a process. And I just hope the fans don't get too carried away and think, oh, next season, you know, we're going to win this and win that. Let's just go with the process that these guys have in place and see where it'll take us. Michael Marsden says, hi, Paul, Alex and Billy. Hope you're all well. And Alex, it was great to meet you yesterday. Indeed, even though we sat for 2 hours waiting for him.
Hello to me, thank you very much. It was lovely to meet everybody. It was surreal. So thank you.
Gary says Billy had me on the edge of his seat with his commentary. Excellent stuff. Thanks, mate. Kieran says all the players were great, and the own goal should have counted as a Bruno goal because it was on target. What a game! How were the lads? Yeah, it was Callum Wilson's actually that was given as the own goal. Paqueta is in Newcastle for Annie Lada's birthday. Bruno's girlfriend, their girls are very good friends and used to live together. Yep. Maybe she's just hinting on, oh, come and meet Mandy. Come and meet me, Dad. You know, you just never know. Majestic said, loved Billy's commentary yesterday. So there you go, Billy.
Thanks.
Other teams are starting to try and copy War Flags displays, bless them. Yeah, but it's not working out too well. 10 minutes to half-time, by the way, at St Mary's. It's currently Southampton 1, Liverpool 1. After Southampton surprised them with a fantastic early goal. Gary Hannant, thank you for your £5 super chat. Very kind, my friend. He says, on TalkSport earlier, who? A Spurs fan said Newcastle United were playing like if they were in the Champions League. And for the kids having fun with Bruno was nice. Yeah, it was. You just got that impression, though, Alex, that it was Newcastle that were wanting to be in the Champions League and not Arsenal.
Yeah, I mean, as a stat man, it's an absolute pleasure to look down the statistics list and see us pretty much on top we are on top in every single department. We got 260 accurate passes compared to their 258. And Arsenal is synonymous with possession-based passing team under Wenger. They are famous for it. We outpassed the Arsenal team. More corners, more long balls, more accurate crosses, more throw-ins, more dribbles. We had almost 20 more duels than they did because we just wanted it more.
Yep.
More shots, more possession. The only thing they got more of was yellow cards, which was 3, and we got 0 yesterday. So well done, lads, for being clean.
You know,
beating them in a clean way as well.
You could have had more, Alex, because the times that Callum Wilson was trying to run away from Gabriel and he was pulling his shirt back, how the referee didn't see that. I think he just turned a blind eye. George, who sits in with me and Leon at the football, of course. Good evening, George. Hope you're well. Hope you enjoyed the Lady Boys last night. Leon, so sad. He wasn't at the Lady Boys, by the way. Leon, so sad, my friend. Thoughts are with you at this difficult time. Take care, and we'll see you next season. Exactly. Barbara says, can you imagine where we would be if we had Wilson all season? We would be in the top 4, no bother. Great show, Paul, Alex, and Billy. Bruno, yeah, he was on fire yesterday. Michael says, best performance of the season. We hunted in packs and won every individual battle. Even Longstaff looked good. Can't wait for the progression next season. Les says, with wish Sky had shown more of the pre-match build-up and the after-match party. All we heard was Jamie and Gary waffling along about Arsenal. Yeah, and that, you know, it's going to piss people off, that, isn't it? Because, you know, they could have shown a lot more before the game and certainly afterwards, just to see how many people had actually stayed back. And sort of, if that was Liverpool or Man City or whoever it was, you're guaranteed that the cameras would be focused on what was going on in the ground. Maybe he's with Gary and Carragher talking in the background, but the cameras would truly be on them.
There was focus on one Geordie. There was focus on one Geordie, Michael Oliver. It was slated by Targett for his performance. Spent about 25 minutes going through analysing his performance and Everton getting beat.
But did you see the little picture of Michael Oliver on Twitter today?
Newcastle shirt, yeah,
in the ground. Yeah, interesting. But listen, he's a Newcastle fan. He's made it well known that he's a Newcastle fan. He's from up here. He's one of my favourite referees as well, to be fair. Glenn says Arteta didn't shy away from praising the Toon. He was spot on with his comments. Yeah, he was. It was nice to hear him actually come out, and he absolutely ravaged his players, Alex. I don't know whether you've heard it.
Good. I haven't heard it, no, but
he really went for his players, and it was nice to hear a manager come out and not waffle on about, you know, oh, we tried this, we tried that. He was cynical. He really, really let them know what he thought of them. And for me, if I was an Arsenal fan, I would be happy that he came out and said that. I wouldn't necessarily be happy, Billy, with some of his substitutions.
Outrageous. Absolutely outrageous. Kamikaze is an understatement. He just took all his defenders off, brought attackers on.
He was playing Football Manager, wasn't he?
They were all treading each other's toes, had no space to get into, and in the end, it was easy for us to go on to defend it. And at the other end, of course, we looked dangerous every time we went forward. So I felt his substitutions and his choices of tactics were absolutely astounding, to be honest.
Yeah, I didn't understand you know, he completely gave up his defensive side of the game, which, you know, I mean, when Eddie made those changes, he changed the 2 wingers, obviously bringing Murphy and Fraser on. And those 2 even looked electric last night. I mean, Murphy was brilliant down the right-hand side. He had a fantastic time when he came on. Disappointed. There was one time he got right down to the byline, and all he had to do was pull it back, and he overhit it. I remember.
I mean, they all nearly scored, all the subs. Yeah, Murphy's shot was a 0.2 XG. Gale's shot in the 96 minutes was nearly a 0.4 in XG, and Fraser got a shot away that was a 0.3. So 3 of the subs came on, and equally, any of them could have been goals. They were only on the pitch for a few minutes.
Fraser and Murphy managed to nose up a 2-on-1 situation, though, didn't they? Between them, it should have been a goal, but Murphy's pass was not far ahead enough of Fraser. Fraser's ball back to Murphy wasn't far enough ahead of him, and in the end, it was like Alex says, a shot straight at what's his face in goal? Can't remember.
Ramsdale. Neil Purvis, thank you for your £5 super chat, buddy. Very kind, thank you. Worth it just for the Ashley comment, and Billy's commentary was great. Glad Alex is back as well. Look, I mean, Ramsdale, Billy, when we talk about his kicking, was terrible in the first half. His distribution was... I didn't understand what Arsenal were trying to do. When they were playing out from the back, they were trying these little just chips into the midfield. We just had it every time.
They did. And they had one route which they should have carried on with, really. It was Saka against Targett, because in the first half, he had him on toast for at least 5 or 10 minutes. and then they stopped going to him for some reason. It was just odd. All of it was odd. Ramsdale looked shaky from the minute one, not just with his distribution, but with his handling and all sorts, decision making.
Yeah.
He looked a really, really nervous goalkeeper last night.
Yeah, 100%. James saying the BBC gossip saying they're going to sack Howe and bring in Jose is literal bullshit. Ain't going to happen. Of course, it's not going to happen. Dear God. It's yes, I did notice that, Gary. Maxi had no headband on last night, and it seemed to free him. He was free from the weight of the headband.
Squashes his brain, maybe.
Yeah, and his thought process was so much better. And he actually forced Ramsdale into a save in the first half when he cut across, and he kept it low. And Ramsdale made a good save
shot, wasn't it?
Send it around the post. Indeed,
Good save.
Could it be that all this time his headband has been the reason for his little bit of sort of?
I think you're underestimating the fact that he's got better players amongst him with Callum Wilson next to him.
Yeah, the difference.
Near post runs gave us a goal. Good Lord.
Yeah, but yeah, exactly. And I was going to bring that up, Billy. You've been saying that all season long about Chris Wood and his since Chris Wood signed, that he doesn't make those runs to the near post and get the flicks. Callum Wilson did that. And how many flick-ons did he win as well last night, by the way, from goal kicks? Isn't it incredible what you can do when you actually try and win headers? But there you go. That's just the way it is. Jim says, great to see Adam and Eddie interviewing Saudi citizens who flew in just to catch the match. Top notch. Yeah, it was. ASM sent Tomiyasu back to Tokyo last night. Oh, he did. He didn't half. What was Miggy's stats last night? Best game for a while, says Les.
Played 76 minutes. Did a lot of hard graft. The stats don't always show that, but 6 out of 8 ground duels won, 3 tackles, which for somebody in his position isn't super typical. But as we saw, he was pressing, he was aggressive, he was trying to block passing lanes. He was very, very on it. 1 key pass, completed 2 of his dribbles. He drew a foul as well. A couple of times where he was a bit, they had to bring him down, although he had to be harsh on him because he was actually putting together some nice little footwork. I mean, if we go back to Bruce or to early Eddie, when he would stand at the edge of the 18-yard box for 10 seconds with the ball and he didn't know whether to go left or right. Yeah. And then what we saw last night, he was it wasn't even decisive. It was instinct. He's got that dribbler's ability back, and he knows where his teammates are. He knows what his job is. It's concise. And these players that were a bit, all over the place, they know exactly what they're doing. Yeah. And their
so
own talent is showing.
Confidence.
Miggy and
confidence.
Yeah.
Massive and we know Miggy's a confidence player, Billy, don't we? He plays off that confidence, and
the
he had bags of it last night.
Well, it was clever from Howe.
Yeah.
He's been building up to this performance in terms of in all of his previous press conferences. Even when we win, he says, "Well, we can play better than that. We can play better than that. We've got it. We can play." He keeps saying it. That was that. Mm-hmm. That was everybody did their press right, and we absolutely wiped the floor with somebody that we shouldn't really. They were incredible. And the substitutions were amazing because he basically said, right, 75 minutes for both wingers, work your asses off, and then we'll bring 2 new wingers on.
Yeah.
And Arteta just ran out of ideas for shape, for counter, for subs. He didn't know what to do with it.
There was no shape, was there?
If you watched Arteta, though, I mean, he was just completely disillusioned by those attitudes of his players last night. He was completely disillusioned. He just did not understand what they were trying to do on that football pitch last night.
They weren't up for it. Like,
no, of course
Emile Smith Rowe came off with 2 out of 5 ground duels. He touched the ball 19 times. They were very anonymous. Like Nketiah with 1 out of 7 ground duels, 1 out of 7 aerial duels.
He got no service last night. He got absolutely bought off.
Yeah, but even so, 2 out of 14 duels.
Well,
fighting for them.
Yeah,
They weren't in terms of the fighting statistics. Odegaard was the only one who can maybe walk away with a bit of pride, but the rest of them, and it's disgraceful. I agree with Arteta. El Nene, Egyptian international, been playing for a very long time in the league, understands how to play in the league. He has played European football, as has Granit Xhaka as well. Disgraceful, awful from them. I'd be very angry if I was an 100%. Arsenal fan.
I mean, Granit Xhaka's comments after the game were nothing short astonishing, really.
Yeah.
Where he came out and accused the young players of not having the balls to play.
Yeah.
Carragher and Neville in the studio literally could see their heads explode.
Well, him and El Neni were in the middle of the park. They should have been pulling more strings. He had the captain's armband on. Go and sort them out. It's his job.
Yeah. We've got a few super chats coming in, so I'll quickly mention them. £20 from Gary Hannon. Thank you again, Gary. Very kind. He says, how did Callum Wilson get a busted tooth? I think he caught Tommy Asu's elbow. But he'll be at the dentist today, no doubt, and getting that sorted. £10 from Mick Lingard. Thank you very, very much, my friend. He says, watching on TV, the place was rocking. But must have been amazing to be there in person. What will be like if and when we win something? Wilson almost scored the world. Indeed, he is. Listen, if we win something, then you'll not get out of St James's Park for a fortnight. You'll literally be stuck in the Toon for 2 weeks. And I wouldn't be sad about that because it would be a celebration. There would be many, many well-oiled people around the Toon, and it'd just be an amazing place to be. Chris Barker, thank you for your £5 super chat, matey. Very kind again. He says the Tooth Fairy better be extra generous to Wilson after that performance. I think so. Carl says, I hope Shah is okay. Yeah, he looked all right at the end, mate, when he was walking around. I think it was anything serious. He would have been off to hospital, but he was
shout
out
out for
there
Shah as well. Well done, Fabian Schär, for getting nearly as many touches as Odegaard, their best player, who played a full 90 minutes. So
yeah, it was awesome. A bit sickening when he got that collision and he went down. He did look spark out. I don't know what it looked like on the TV, Billy, but it looked like he was sparkers.
They didn't show any replay of it, and I was quite concerned actually that it might have been a borderline red.
Right.
It took them at least 2 minutes to show a replay of it. Whether that was down to the seriousness of the injury or not, I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, I did look at it, and they didn't think it was anything worth. It was an accident, just a yellow card. But
in the ground, it was scary because they brought a stretcher on within 5 seconds, and that's
apparently Emil Kraft saved his life, pulled his tongue out of his throat. So good on him, good on Emil. Not only because he's perfect on the pitch, he saved his teammate's life.
Brilliant.
Sounds like.
Wow, interesting. Longstaff had his Weetabix yesterday. Wonderful display. Stiff Gator says Matt Targett should be really pushing for an England spot at this point with his consistency and form. £15 million will be unbelievable business by the club. It was funny last night when he was getting interviewed by NUFC TV, the official website, and then Bruno popped along and said, we have to sign you. We have to sign. Brilliant stuff. And of course, Matt Targett just laughed. But that's a signing, surely, Alex, that's got to happen.
I mean, he's just fit like a glove, hasn't he? His personality, his consistency, professionalism. I think it was on the James Lawrence Alcott channel. He was talking about this game, and he mentioned that, you know what you're going to get with Matt Targett. He's always a 7. And then he had to correct himself because the stats said he was an 8 in that game. He's not just giving 7 out of 10 performances anymore. No. He's consistently producing a lot better than that. He's intelligent. He's even in the games we've lost and we've been poor in. He's always been able to walk off pretty happy. Even against City, he's normally done all right. Even when we lose, he's just very, very good.
Yeah, the thing is about him, he makes everything look easy, though. He doesn't seem to overdo anything or overcomplicate anything. He just, like you said, he's just steady, constantly steady, but at a very high standard steady.
With the fact that he attempted 17 crosses means that was a plan. So if Eddie Howe values him enough as a player, talent-wise, to make him the game plan against Arsenal, that's massive praise because he obviously respects his work rate to get forward, to deliver those crosses, and the ability to get back in position. And if a manager like Eddie Howe sees that in you, then I feel like, I know we've been linked with a few other left backs in Europe and stuff, but I feel like we need a bit of continuity because there's going to be a lot of change.
Happy signing Matt Targett.
I think I'd go with Matt Targett.
Someone like that who we know who is experienced in the Premier League and playing really well. Look elsewhere where the positions are more important because I think left back, Matt Targett there. We've got Dummett, remember, who signed an extra year to cover. As long as he stays fit.
We're not going to get 17 crosses from Paul Dummett, are we?
Well, no, we're not. But you know what I mean? He's obviously Matt Targett's going to be first choice, but we have the backup there. Keith Dites, thank you very much for your $20 super chat, matey, over there in the good old US of A. Onwards and upwards, upwards and onward, he says. But thank you very much. Mrs. Toon Review is in the house. Evening, everyone. Who's the richest club in the world? That would be us. Listen, we got nearly 900 watching at the minute, which is absolutely incredible. So thank you to each and every one of you who is watching. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell where you'll be notified when we do upload or record a video. And please do hit the thumbs up button, get that like button hit, and let YouTube know that there's something good happening on this channel. And of course, our merchandise store is now open. We have mugs. A little quick video for you, just as a teaser. And then if you get yourself off to the toonreview.co.uk, you can get your orders there.
So let's get down to business.
I've been waiting, think I wanna make that move now. Baby, tell me if you like it. Tell me if you like it now. I've been waiting, think I wanna make that move now. Baby, tell me how you like it.
Let's get down to business.
And of course, a massive thank you to everybody that has ordered one so far. Load of orders have come in, so thank you very much. They will be getting sent off to the manufacturer hopefully this week, and we'll get them back and shipped off to you as soon as we can. Of course, hosts will be getting one, and the mods will be getting one, and happy days. Another super chat's coming from David Smith for $17.99. Thank you very much, my friend. He says, now watching you guys more than Netflix. Only fair you get the subscription. Great channel, great times. Thank you. David, thank you so much. That's very kind, my friend. And let's hope we entertain. There'll be a lot of stuff coming on here over the summer. I have a feeling we're going to be busy, guys. Live shows as much as we can with any sort of transfer news and stuff like that. But we are going nowhere as a channel. We will be right with you, keeping you updated of everything that we get news on. So right the way through the summer, and of course we will be covering the ladies European Championship as well, which is coming up. It kicks off in 50 days' time. And just a big shout out to Steph Horton as well. Of course, she's from up here, but of course, a Man City legend down in Manchester. She's been called up to the preliminary 28 girl squad, I think it is, after missing most of the season through injury. Of course, she was captain of England, but she's been replaced as captain, but she's been called up, and hopefully she'll play in the tournament itself. George, thank you very much for your £15 super chat. Matey, thank you so much. Sod's law that I missed the best game of the season. Well, you would go to male strippers, but I'm confident that there will be more to come. Was up till 4 a.m. watching the match. Yeah, you were up till 4 a.m. sticking tenors down G-strings, George. Hi, I know where you were last night. I hope his wife's not watching. I think Targett is a great player until I see Dean playing for Villa and realise how much better he is than Targett. Are you having a laugh?
Well, that's a Villa player who's just created an account, isn't it?
Well, I mean, come on. I mean, how much Luca Dean is better than Matt Targett? Are you having a bath?
But we've got Trippier on the right, so we don't need somebody who can do all that.
Yeah,
like, it needs balance. It's fine the way we've got it, and I prefer Trippier. So
absolutely,
we don't need that.
The Macam lady in the meme wanted Wilson's tooth. Oh God, yeah, I've seen that today. Those two old women that were laughing at us when we got relegated. Did anybody see that today? It was a picture of her with Callum Wilson underneath, and she was begging him for his tooth. It was quality. Tom says the Raw when the little kids scored at the Leazes and then the Gallagher was class. Yeah. Oh my God. I tell you what, little Lascelles got me. Little tiny Lascelles. What a cute little kid he was. And he come running towards, you know how little kids run with the legs sort of all bandy-legged out, sticking out, and he come charging towards the Leazes, and he got such a roar. And that must be such a proud moment for Jamal himself, you know, seeing his little lad run up to the Leazes like that and get such a...
Who was it that slide tackled their own kid? That was brilliant.
That was Trippier.
Was that Trippier? Oh, what legend.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
Totally wiped him out as well. Derek says, didn't enjoy work today, guys. Had my manager, who's a Spurs fan, trying to hug me. There was a lot of weird stuff going on Twitter last night that when I got home and sort of had a quick flick through before, but there was like lots of very strange and rude things from Tottenham female fans, which was just bizarre. Just very strange people. And actual men saying, "Oh, I would do naughty things with Newcastle male supporters to thank them for beating that." I thought, wow, that is going a bit too far. But listen,
well, we're keeping their manager in a job, aren't we?
Absolutely. Longstaff proved he's attacking midfielder, not a defensive midfielder. His best game for at least 2 years. I agree with that, Geordie Metal. No doubt about it. How much money is there in that pick? A lot. And hopefully Amanda will give the checkbook to Danielle, and she'll be away in Europe all summer with a whole plane load of players coming back. Fabulous scenes at the end. I simply love these owners. Don't care what the rest of the country thinks. Couldn't well toss now. Foxy says, incredible the difference in spirit now with the players, staff, and fans. Goosebumps. I mean, you couldn't help but guess goosebumps, Alex, as soon as you walked in the ground last night.
Yeah, it was. I was being tested emotionally there. It was tough. It was tough walking in. I said to you last night, I had a mum and a young lad for his birthday. It was his first game at St James's Park as well, next to me, and trying to help him stand on the seat so he could see, because he wasn't sure if he was allowed to. It's like, yeah, go on, lad, get on the seat, watch it. So, you know,
yeah.
Everybody was chatting to me around. No idea who I was. We were all, you know, and then the songs, well, everybody knows the songs. We've got so many of them. Just the fans are just so switched on, and they just know. And war flags as well, and the players.
Yeah, Michael.
Everybody played their roles,
yeah.
And it's not just playing a role. That implies it's an act, because it's not. It's so sincere across the board. Everybody involved in the project.
Well, I mean, Geordie sums it up here. Jamie Rubin and Meerdad went around before the match taking photos and signing autographs of supporters inside and outside the stadium, which was great to see before the owners later went on the pitch. Yeah, Jamie Rubin and Meerdad went across to the food bank. You know, and said hello to quite a few people, got photos taken. It was, you know, I mean, it's just fantastic. You know, it really is. James says, we are just proving how we are the best fans in the world, always have been, just now to cheer about until the last 6 months.
Yeah.
Bruno was loving life at full time, couldn't get the smile off his face. He stood in front of us at the Leazers at the end, you know, with these, like, doing this, as if to sort of binoculars to see everybody. And he was just lapping it up. And rightly so, you know, just lapping it up. He just loves it here. And the particular thing that got me was when we scored our second, Bruno scored the second goal. And then literally the whole of the Leazers end turned around to the Arsenal fans and started singing, "He turned you down, he turned you down, he turned you, Bruno turned you down."
Yeah, I was in the Leazers. I was quite
and
close
then the
to
whole
that.
stadium started singing it. It was just echoing across the stadium. Incredible. Toon Dave, thank you for your £5 super chat, mate. Thank you so much. The post-match walk-around was superb, unbelievable and teary-eyed. Bruno playing keep ball with all the kids, top class by everyone. How are the lads? Indeed so. And it got me, because when I was looking around with people sitting around me or a few rows back, and seeing so many people actually emotional, and I think, Billy, it was emotional for one big reason, because of the crap that we've been through, that Newcastle United as a club and as a fan base has been put through for the last 14 and a half years under Mike Ashley. To see the togetherness and the happiness of the players and the unity, you know, Amanda Staveley said when they first came in, Billy, if you can remember, she said, we want to give this club back to the fans. And last night, that's what I mean by a celebration, because that's what it was. It was them giving this club back to the fans.
I couldn't agree more. And it's night and day from what we had before, isn't it? It's two ends of the spectrum, from being neglected and cherry-picked for assets, for money for the former owner, to what we've got now, investment and spreading the unity and all the infrastructure that's going on within the city, not just the football club, but within the city. It's just a total other end of the spectrum to what we've had in.
Yeah, and Steve makes a good point there, saying how many players around the world. Go on, Billy. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm just saying it's you know, it's. I was going to say that what we had before, the Newcastle United fans have always had a lot of love to give. They just have had no one to give it to.
Yeah,
and now we've got the whole package ready
Absolutely.
for us, and
Absolutely.
it's the outpouring of emotion that was always going to come. I think we're going to see more and more of it, to be honest.
And Steve makes a good point there. How many players around the world watched that last night and thought, I want a piece of it? You know, it was a big spectacle. And Alex, I remember you saying before the game, you know, when people were saying about, oh, it means more to Arsenal this game than Newcastle United. And then you were talking about Newcastle United players playing for contracts. But not only that, us as fans basically showed, like Steve says there, what a place this can be to play football, what an atmosphere it can be. And that will be a big pull across the summer, because the owners can just go, right, look at this video. Do you want to be part of this? Can you imagine what status you will have as a footballer if you can win something for this football club?
Yeah, exactly. And it's perfectly set up for people. If they've got the right mindset and the attitude, you know, you will be involved. You will play most of the minutes, as Bruno has done. You know, if you're at that level anyway, which is to be expected, you know, you will earn the minutes required to get the spotlight, to get into your national team, or to be consistent in your national team. You know, to achieve your bonuses that are in your contract. You know, your family will be loved. You will be treated right in the city. It really is just, there's so many boxes, and for the home form as well. Like, I think that's the highest home points total we've achieved since the Pardew season when we qualified for Europe. And considering we didn't win a game,
remarkable that,
for quite a long time,
14 games, and it is remarkable.
Well, I think we've indirectly stumbled upon the reason why Mr. Carragher, Mr. Neville were kind of underestimate and underwhelming everything, I guess.
Yeah,
because I think they're worried about their clubs and who they're going to
without
be
a doubt,
in the transfer market.
Well, it's not just about the money. It's not about the money. And Arsenal fans, you come at me all you want. Xhaka was what, 30, 40 million. Odegaard wasn't cheap. Ben White, 40 million. Gabriel was a hot prospect Brazilian centre back. You got some expensive and some highly rated young people, mid-range age people in that team.
Absolutely.
Fine, we've got 240 million. You've got the same, and that game was night and day different. You know, it's.
T. Felice says, it's crazy how a Newcastle channel has more unbiased commentary than Sky and the TV. Listen, thank you very much. And, you know, I think, you know, I'm proud as Puncher Billy for the way he's handled the last two watch-alongs. You know, he had problems on both of them, but he's overcome them. And listen, he's getting this camera that I've got here, the spare camera I've got now. I'm sending that down to him soon, so he'll have that for next season as well. Those of you that don't know, the watch-alongs will be on every single game next season for Newcastle United on this channel. Billy will be covering the home games, and I will be covering the away games on watch-alongs. So both of us will be covering them together, which I'm really looking forward to, and taking this channel up to the next level. So Billy is a fantastic commentator, as you heard last night. I sat and watched him this afternoon, and it was like I was there again, reliving it all. And that's what it's all about, you know. For those of you that can't get to the game because tickets are just impossible at the minute, you know, you've always got this channel to fall back on, guys. And even if it's live on TV, turn off the biased commentary, watch it on TV by all means, but listen to us on the commentary. We're always fair as well. It's not like we're just unbelievably biased towards Newcastle. If we see something good on the pitch, we'll see it as well, which is why we've been getting such good feedback on the commentaries anyway. So, as I say, we'll cover all the games next season between me and Billy. So really looking forward to that as well. Fantastic photo. Indeed it was. There isn't another ground in the Premier League that could replicate that last night. Unbelievable to see.
Have you seen that video on Twitter? There was, I apologize for I forgot the lady's name, but she posted a video. She snuck back into work. And she it must have been a couple of miles away from St. James's Park, and she was recording out the window.
Oh yes,
St. James's Park.
That. Yeah.
You can hear us singing in the ground
across
from
Newcastle,
so far
Newcastle
away.
City Centre. Yeah.
Oh, it is
absolutely incredible. Ash says, hi guys, been up and down 24 hours for me. Newcastle was the high. My dad being rushed to hospital. The Lord just got my first 5 minutes since it all happened. He has end of life COPD, not in immediate danger though. Sorry to hear that, Ash. But if he's not in immediate danger yet, just make sure you get as many good times as you possibly can, and that'll help. For when the time comes, you can always look back on the good times and happy memories, and that will hopefully help you through. So hope you and the family are okay, Ash. Brian says, evening, guys. Loving the show as always. Great performance. Perfect end to our home games this season. Did you see Bruno cut his interview short and asked Villa to make Targett permanent? Yeah, yes, we did. And I think that will happen, to be honest. I do think. Jason says, I don't think it's ever been like this. It's a good point. I can't remember the stadium being like that, even in the 90s, Billy, with the entertainers. I don't recall the stadium being just incredibly alive like that. No, maybe a couple of games, like the 5-0 over Man United and things like that. But, of course, the ground wasn't as big then as it is now.
No, there's only 36,000 in there, wasn't there? And it was, like you say, it was smaller. But, yeah, the atmosphere last night was absolutely bouncing. Each side of the stadium, it was just awesome. And I agree. I don't think we have seen atmospheres like that before. Partly because of the capacity of the ground, but partly because we've been starved of it for so long as well. I think it's an outpouring of emotion that's come in one foul swoop, rather than every week we used to have that, didn't we? In the 90s, we're having it last 6 months now, so it's an outpouring of lots and lots of built-up emotion over the last 15 years.
And I think that's why people were getting so emotional, Billy, when they were doing not actually during the game as well, when they were really singing, and then the lap of appreciation, there were so many emotional people, because like you say, it's just a massive outpouring of emotion that has been held in for all the time that Mike Ashley was there, and knowing that somebody that would come in and take the club like these guys have to try and take the next level, they would be seen as gods, and they are. To us, they are gods for what they've done already by getting rid of Ashley.
Yeah, we've had sporadic instances of kind of atmospheres. I can remember the winning of the championship. The first time was quite a good atmosphere that day. The Ipswich game, I was there that day, and also we had the 5-0 against Sunderland. Also, we had little sporadic and the last game of the season against Spurs when we were relegated. Just little sporadic instances. But now we can see this coming with more consistency, and I think that's why we're getting the outpouring of emotion in such high amount. To be honest,
no more apologies about our owners. Let's start to say how proud we are of them and the Saudis. Yeah, why not be proud of who we're owned by now? It's about time that we started fighting back against all these people who just want to, slander everybody. It's like I say, the Saudi people that have come into this, that have subscribed to this channel and come on to the chat and things like that, lovely people. And it's like a lot of people have said, they are lovely people. And it's the government that has been the problem, but we don't cover that. We do not want to go near politics on this channel, and we never will. It's about football for us, and it's about where these guys can take our football club. That is all that matters to me. Leave it to the politicians to sort out human rights issues, but hopefully they can learn things from us and we can learn things from them. Simple as that.
I think the siege mentality of it all will help us as well.
Absolutely.
It really will, because we'll be united.
Yeah.
On our own against the rest.
Definitely. Geordie says, I'd happily take more nights like last night, even if we don't win trophies, because nights like last night are what football is all about. I would be sad to see Matt Targett go. His interview was excellent. You could see how much he wanted to stay. I think it's already done, Alex.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Ooh.
I'm not sure. I don't know. It seems like it based on emotion, but that's not how the owners work. That's not how people of that caliber of business and financial, that's not how they operate. They won't make emotional decisions. It'll all be checked based on scouting and going forward, and it'll all be done. Unfortunately, like, I would love to see Trippier sign, but I'm not 100% sure it's going to happen based on.
Trippier's already signed, Alex.
Sorry, Matt Targett.
Stato made a boo-boo. He's had a Sinclair. It's all that drink you put away yesterday, my friend.
Well, maybe. Because there is this temptation to, obviously we do need to lower the average age of the squad as well. There's question marks over Jamal Lewis's sort of skill ceiling, even though he is still 24. Obviously, Matt Ritchie's not going to be a left back anymore. He might not even be a right mid anymore. We'll see. And then Paul Dummett as well. So there is the question mark. Do we go and get somebody of Bruno's caliber, who is a left back. Maybe they're looking at that. You never know. Maybe they're looking at the fullbacks being like outrageously overpowered.
Sorry,
but we'll see.
That's some jivey tune you've got there, Billy Trey.
Yeah, I would like Trippier, but again, there's been a lot of talk of Lodi from Atletico Madrid.
Yeah,
obviously, that's all been connected because they've got similar agents and similar teams to players we've signed and we know. It doesn't mean it's true. Obviously, maybe they've had conversations, but I would like to see Trippier stay at Targett. Why do I keep saying Trippier? I'm thinking about fullbacks.
Because he's still half cut. Jason says, this is a good point. Remember Keegan's words. One day you will get your club back and it will be everything you want it to be. And
I think last night was the night. I think last night was the epitome of that. I really do.
Definitely.
I'll tell you what, the neutral media weren't expecting that either. I mean, from us in the ground, they weren't expecting that. There were several channels not expecting the home crowd to be sort of encouraging the goals, and they were expecting it to quieten down a little bit more over the last few weeks, and it hasn't, and it's shocked a few people that it's continued. So fingers crossed we can keep that level of enthusiasm going into next season, and hopefully we can have some outrageous home form and we can become a fortress again.
Definitely. Would be so cruel if we didn't sign Targett. You can see his heart is there and he's been exemplary in attitude and commitment. A job well done, Matty. We want you to stay. We battered them, says Toon Blog. Can't believe that is the standard of a top 5 team in the country. Andrew says super commentary. Billy, listen, I think Arsenal are a bit higher than what I think they actually are. I don't believe that they're anywhere near a Champions League side or a team that can or should be challenging for a Champions League position. They are way off the pace when it comes to some of the teams that we've seen at St. James's Park this season, or indeed anywhere else this season. And I think they've kind of probably Europa League, Billy, is where they're probably at.
Yeah, they've got some excellent youngsters, let's be honest. I was quite surprised that he didn't start with Martinelli last night and start with Smith on the left.
Yeah,
Martinelli's been playing quite well of late. But they're very flaky, aren't they? They're like, you pressurise them, they don't like it. They need a bit of grit in their midfield. They need a bit of grit in the side, full stop, I think. And they just haven't got it. And if the chips are down, they go missing. And that's not what you want a top 4 side to have. If you want to qualify for Champions League, I think you've got to have the grit. Spurs have got it. You know, with the Hobergs.
They spent 140 million on it. How much money are they going to throw at Arsenal to make it have the grit?
Yeah, you're right. I mean, but they need something in that middle of the park because the players there just haven't got it.
Oh, and hi, Paul Merson and Piers Morgan and
yeah, absolutely. Otherwise commonly known as monumental bellends. I've seen loads of memes about Paul Merson today, just crying into his spilt milk or spilt pints of lager, whatever it may be. Great to see. Great to see. You what, mate?
It won't be lager with Paul Merson anymore, I don't think.
No, absolutely not. Jason says Wilson just pushed his tooth back in the hole and carried on. Did he really?
Well, it looked like he pulled it out, but then second half, he looked like he had a tooth back in there again. So I don't know what happened. To be honest. Didn't look very nice, though.
Oof. Barry Lang, thank you for another £5 super chat, my friend. He says Gooners have got bird flu. They have lost to seagulls, eagles, cockerels, and now the magpies. yeah, possibly have. Jordan says hi, Toon Review guys. Amazing commentary, Billy. Amazing result. Best performance of the season by far. Spider says a cherry on the cake could have been if the ladies team joined them on the lap of honour as one club. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, but I think the ladies had the moment, didn't they, last week? When the 22,000 turned up, they had the moment. They did a lap of honour after that game. So it was the guys' turn last night, of course.
I think they did bring some of the younger players on who were getting contracts, didn't they, at half time, I believe?
No.
Was that not it?
It was the under-9s, mate.
Exactly.
It was the under-9s, yeah. So, they are the future. And they were great when they went round at half time because the owners came on with them and they were sort of going this to the fans, sort of come on, roar for us. And the fans that were still in the seats, of course, they were they were lauding it. It was absolutely fantastic, and great to see that the owners came on with them as well. Daniel Craig, thank you very much for your $17.99 super chat, mate. There's no comment there, but thank you for your generosity again.
James Bond's a Geordie.
James Bond is a Geordie. He wears a Geordie hat. Spudley says Jamie Carragher is an idiot. Should we keep ESM or will he be a liability next season by not tracking back? I thought he tracked back okay last night. Listen, we have to realize what Eddie's instructions are to ASM, and I genuinely believe that he doesn't tell ASM to come all the way back because he knows that ASM is there to spring as an outlet.
Yeah,
you know,
that's right.
and you know he's there to run with the ball out. Not like Steve Bruce used to do to him, and you know, it would be him as the only outlet. But when he gets the ball, it then, you know, it gave Arsenal a problem because as soon as the SM got the ball, Wilson was then bombing forward, and so was Miggy on the right-hand side. So they couldn't all just go to Maxi last night. They had to spread out.
And it was
that
quite
gave
telling.
Maxi more space.
It was quite telling when Saka did have that little moment of when he was beating Targett, that the man that came back to help Targett out was Joe Linton. And that's instruction.
Yeah.
That's instruction.
And I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it was all planned.
I think Joe Linton is the man to help Matty Targett out, and ASM just sticks half. You know, he doesn't come all the way back. He stays sort of halfway in his own half, and he's there for, like, if you watch corners as well, he's always there as the breakaway guy. And when he was
first goal,
pace up front,
the first goal
exactly.
was the epitome of that.
Yep, and that's the thing though, Billy. When we've got the pace there, we can spring pace like that. Yeah. Which is what Chris Wood doesn't give. Maxi is then given an option now because he's got Wilson making bombing runs and Miggy making bombing runs, and they have to spread out the back four. Then they can't all just pile in on Maxi, realizing that there's nobody else up front.
No, absolutely right. It's just a different attack altogether, isn't it? With a striker that makes the runs, that's mobile. That also does all the bits that Chris Wood is pertained to be able to do, holding the ball up and all that stuff, and playing doing the dirty work. But the pace, running in behind, running the channels, running near post for crosses, you know, he did all those things last night and more. It was a perfect number 9 performance, in my opinion.
Yep. Mubarak Al-Dasari, thank you very much for your $9.99 super chat. There's no comment there, but thank you for your kindness, my friend. Wolves F1 says, have you ever seen Southern Softy Spurs fan base celebrate so much a Newcastle win? Shearer winding up Ian Wright was so funny. Oh, that was hilarious.
Superb.
Absolutely superb to watch. Great view. I love those two. They can be when they did that thing for, you know, when they're telling each other jokes and trying not to laugh. I mean, Ian Wright, you just have to look at him, and he's got that infectious laugh about him where you would love to be in his company to be cheered up. Can we talk about J7 and Bruno's performance last night? We have. I thought Joe Linton, Alex, was just fantastic. He was back to his best after not being so great for the last couple of games, but last night he was immense.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to tap on to what Billy said, just with Joe Linton as well. But that was all planned with Wilson. I just want to add that because it's so important to recognise that it's the coaching staff doing this. That I don't really care that Wilson was offside 4 times. It's irrelevant because the runs were dangerous. And they were really all in the first 20 minutes of the game. They kept dinking it over for Callum Wilson on purpose. And because of that, they were threatened and they had to pay the respect to that ball, which then after the first 20 minutes, how many times did we see Miggy and Maxi get space? Because it was on purpose. It's good coaching. It's good tactics. They knew exactly what they were doing to a T. And as you said, Joe Linton covering holes, being a bit more aggressive. And the one thing that works really well is Bruno works really well with Joe Linton specifically because Bruno's really good at reading the game with his recoveries and channels, and he sees it. He's one of these magical players that does start to see things before they happen. So as Joe Linton's bombing around, throwing himself about, he might not get the credit of the tackle, but he's the one breaking it up a bit. And then people like Bruno are sort of just nicking it out from under people's feet. Everything clicked last night. Everything that was meant to happen tactically worked. Absolutely. And everybody understood their job.
Yeah. Masterclass. They pushed the Arsenal back four back, didn't it? 20 yards. And then the space came for Miggy and ASM down the flanks. Absolutely. It was a tactical masterclass by Eddie Howe. Yep. Tactical masterclass.
And Billy, Emil Kraft, what a turnaround in him. And now he looks like, a few months ago we were all saying, Manquillo is the man to back up Kieran Trippier. But it looks like, we've got one there now ready-made in Emil Kraft. But the question will be, with the World Cup coming up, is Emil Kraft going to be happy playing as a backup?
Will Emil Kraft be playing as a backup? That's the question I'd ask. I actually think he's a better defender than Kieran Trippier. I think Kieran Trippier's a better footballer. I think he offers more to the team going forward and as leadership. But as a defender, I think Emil Kraft, he has a bit more pace. Sometimes get caught out. His pace gets him back into the right positions. And actually, as a defender, which is what he's in the side for, I think Emil Kraft is actually a better defender than Kieran Trippier. That might cause a few options, but...
Well, choke me with a tramp sock. I did not expect...
It's been coming the past 3 or 4 weeks, and that's why every team I've been announcing, I've had Kraft in ahead of Trippier.
Right. So, would you play Trippier further forward in that case, Billy?
I think there's room for him there, but I don't. Yeah, I do. I think if there's one place we are lacking sometimes, it's down that right flank, and I think he could definitely play as a right-sided midfielder. Mm-hmm. Definitely. Absolutely. Well, you've got to get him in the side somehow because of his leadership and his free kicks and his fantastic going forward. But to have Kraft behind him, I think that makes it so solid that right side. I really do.
Tim says Almiron was silky last night. Some great touches and passes. He looks a much better player under Eddie Howe. Yeah, he does. As do all of them, to be honest. John says, how funny was that when Pepe fell over his own feet, then moaned for a foul? Yeah, I mean, God.
He was
Pepe.
diabolical when he came on.
Oh, I forgot about him when I was doing the money rant. Oh, yeah, there's another one. There you go.
Yeah.
70-odd million. Absolutely
shocking. Granit Xhaka certainly blasted his teammates after the game. What did you make of that, Alex? I mean, he absolutely slaughtered them. Was it a good thing for him to do, or should that sort of thing be kept in the dressing room?
I don't know if it should be kept. It doesn't have to be kept in the dressing room if it's done in the right circumstances. And I don't think he did it in the right circumstances. He's supposed to show his leadership on the pitch. He could have tried to get Emil Smith-Rowe and El Neni. He could have tried to pull a bit more out of them. And I didn't see a lot of that. His head was down. He went in with a dirty yellow card tackle later on. You know, he was more focused on himself. He was getting a bit too angry and wasn't, this is why we never captained Shelvey back in the day, because he would be far more focused on his own game and his own aggression. Obviously, he's changed that a lot now, and well done, John Joe. But Xhaka just displayed how he just wasn't helping, not just the young lads, but any lads. It doesn't matter what age they are. If you're a captain, you're a captain. Some people just aren't leaders. They look for advice and instruction. Maybe they've got a lot in their mind. Maybe they're struggling a bit. You need that voice. And for him to be so poor on the pitch, especially with his teammates, with leadership, and then to do an interview as well, I think it was a bit misplaced because he wasn't very good either. And I'd feel sorry for some of the young lads that maybe, I don't know, people like Emil Smith-Rowe, he's fine. I don't think people like him deserve to get crucified for that. He's a young lad. He'll be fine. He couldn't get his head up. The stadium last night was rocking. It was, I want to give us a lot of credit, but some of those young lads for Arsenal, they'll be fine. They couldn't handle it, fair enough, but they're still good players.
Yeah.
So no, I don't agree with Xhaka. I think that was way too harsh. Yeah. And I'd like to see him out of the Premier League in the summer because I just don't like him. I think he's just a nasty piece of work.
Yeah. Paul says, I like how Alex always drank water when he was abroad. Back in England, massive bottle of beer. Yeah, I've noticed that. You were all for sport and the water, and now you're back in old Blighty, and it's back to normal ways. Wagner says, as a Brazilian, I am very happy to see what Bruno did to Xhaka this game. Utter domination from beginning to end. Jordy says, I honestly think that if our owners get it right in the summer by signing decent players who will improve our squad, I honestly think we can finish above the likes of Man U and Arsenal.
I think we could do it with the current crop, to be honest with you. If we kept everything the same and we started a season from now, we would finish ahead of both of them. Obviously, that's not going to happen, and we can never test this, and people can argue with me, fine. But that's just, look at the form table since January the 1st. It's not crazy to suggest it would happen.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Diago says, Paul, rumours say we want Jesus. Now, I'd love it right forward in his best position. Jesus would be a good signing, without a doubt. Dave says Longstaff's dink was a thing of beauty. Maybe Eddie's onto something. I hope he repeats this performance at the World Cup, says Wagner. Julie says, relax all. Callum posted a pic on Instagram that says tooth is back in place. Well, there you go. Jim says, Billy, after last night, are you still an Nketiah fan?
Yeah, I was quite impressed with his energy. That's all he could show, really, because he hardly got the ball.
Yeah, good point. Mark Danny, good luck to your daughter who's getting married tomorrow. I hope you have an absolutely fantastic day, and good luck to everybody. Saudi Tooth Fairy will look after him, I'm sure. It already has. Credit to Kraft rushing over to Cher to make sure he not swallowed his tongue. Well, apparently he had, Billy, you were saying before.
Yeah. Pulled his tongue out, yeah.
Incredible. Xhaka is a disgrace. Fancy blaming the youngsters, man. He should have been leading by example, but he took the easy option by blaming the youngsters. Wasn't so long ago he was being booed by his own fans.
And you think about the amount of times he's let Arsenal down by getting sent off and stuff like that, and it's the gorilla called the monkey area in calling out his young players for that. Wrong, and I agree with Alex.
Absolutely. A lot of people in the comments have been asking why Newcastle didn't play with their new shirts, as sometimes happens towards the end of the season. Listen, they haven't announced the sponsors yet, so it was never going to happen that they were going to play in the new shirts, because they weren't going to put Fun 88 on the front of the new shirts, because that's not who are going to be sponsoring next year. Shane's heard that it's going to be Aramco. There's no news on any new sponsor yet. I have no doubt, and I think everybody is under the same impression that it is going to be a Saudi-based company who is going to be our sponsor. That is only natural. That we're owned by by PIF. I shouldn't say that, really. Should I get me head battered in off the media? PIF own us, and listen, it's up to them who we go for. It could be Saudi Airways, it could be PIF's new airlines, it could be Saudi Gulf, it could be Aramco. But I have a feeling all these companies are going to be involved anyway, somewhere along the line. Again, though, time will tell. Heard Simon Jordan this morning saying he actually admitted he was wrong about Eddie and said he's done a terrific job. But I don't listen to him anymore because he's a royal plum. Targett seems so down to earth too. I think he's class indeed. Hopefully, Longstaff will continue to improve under Howe in order to justify his squad place. Geordie says, surely we've got to sign Matt Targett, even if he's a sub. He's better than we currently have in the likes of Lewis and Ritchie. I think Lewis and Ritchie are off, Billy, myself. I don't think they'll be at the club next season.
No, I don't know. And I don't think Matt Targett will sign as an understudy anyway. I think he'll want to be the main man in that left back position. And the only difference is if we are going to go for someone the level above Matt Targett. But I mean, Matt Targett has been outstanding for us. Let's be honest. I think he deserves to get his deal and come to stay with us for 2 or 3 years.
Yeah. Andrew says, I bet Danielle is buzzing. That is an understatement, mate. Absolutely rocking, more to say. Heard a rumour that Paqueta will sign for Man City in the summer. I'm struggling to believe it, frankly, not with how much love Bruno has for the Toon. Listen, there's been absolutely no reports of Paqueta going to Manchester City. None at all.
They have apparently, well, this is a rumour thing that I just read, but apparently they've said Gundogan is surplus to requirements. But I don't know if that was a rumour or a true thing.
He's somebody I would love to say. He is a good player. Very good player, and he's a very good leader on the pitch as well. John says, don't mean to sound sour, but was annoyed with TalkSport last night as all they talked about was Arsenal's failure to finish fourth. Very poor by that.
On the way up, I had Radio 1 on. I did a long blimmin' drive up to the northeast, and I had Radio 1 on. And every time there was the sports interruption, it would say, oh, and Arsenal go up to St. James's Park tonight in their attempt to try and get fourth place Champions League. It's like, we're the home team. Mention us. It's so biased, and that's Radio 1. They're meant to be neutral.
Yeah, but it's listen, it's all the media, isn't it? It literally is all the media. Tom says we didn't do it for Spurs. They can F off too. Absolutely, we did it for ourselves. We just happened to help Spurs, which kind of grinds on me a little that we've helped Daniel Levy out a little bit, but hey ho. Kenman says Callum Wilson was emotional when he came off. We missed him so much. He was, and he got one hell of an ovation as well. Very annoying that we missed most of the lap, only for them to whine about how bad Arsenal were insistently. Yeah. John says, even Jason Grundy said Newcastle were great last night. Yeah, for a brief 5 minutes, and then before they turned on Arsenal. Wouldn't it be funny if Norwich beat Spurs and Arsenal beat Everton to get Champions League qualification? Hey, anything is possible, but I simply can't see Norwich.
Oh, we don't want that, guys. I don't know why everybody wants this. Arsenal want the same players we do in the summer. We don't want Arsenal with Champions League. Because like Nunez and Paqueta, and there's a lot of people floating around that are they're on our shopping list, and they're also on Arsenal shopping list. So it's not going to be good for us.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Right, it's player ratings time, guys. Now this is going to be a very interesting one tonight. Billy, we'll start with yourself, buddy. You can start off with Mr. Dubravka.
It's a hard one to mark because he didn't have an awful lot to do, did he? I'll just give him a solid 8 because what he did do, he was perfectly apt with what he did. Commanded the box quite well. Come on, got a couple of crosses. His distribution was great. One long ball he played out to I think it was the right flank. An astounding pass. I couldn't believe he had it in him, to be honest.
Yeah, in the ground, we all went all as well. That was a really good long ball.
As a goalkeeping performance, he had nothing to do really shot-wise or save-wise. But yeah, 8 out of 10 because I thought he commanded his box really well.
Absolutely. Steve says Dave would be so proud and happy. Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, he will have been watching over St. James's Park last night, just astounded by literally everything. And if there's one really lump in the throat that I had yesterday, it was just before when they came out and the local hero started, and I just thought, wow. And I did actually look over to the East Stand and just had a few words with myself and said, this is for you, Dave, looking down, and this is what the club has become. So sad he's not here to see it, but like I say, hopefully he's looking down and in such happiness that the club is finally going somewhere. By the way, Liverpool are 2-1 up, 16 minutes to go in that game. So it looks like it's going to go down to the last game of the season for the championship. Jamie Rubin doesn't get the plaudits he deserves. He's kind of in Amanda and Mairdad's shadow. A little bit, but Mairdad and Amanda put themselves forward in the media more than Jamie does. That's not to say Jamie doesn't do an absolutely fantastic job, because he does. But it's just obviously Mairdad and Amanda are kind of the front figures for Newcastle at the moment. Alex, Emil Kraft.
Kraft. That's an interesting one. I'm going to give him an 8 as well. Purely because I felt like this is the first time I've seen him in a big game. He didn't just do well in a defensive capacity. He was a lot more comfortable in attack. 57 touches of the ball. He played a key pass. He even had that ridiculous shot that, well done for trying it, but it means his confidence is high. So I think he deserves an 8 because he got done once near the end, but he just looked better, and against a good team as well. He was more confident on the ball. He was positioning himself as a passing option amidst a lot of danger. He looked a lot better. He looked a lot more confident. He didn't look like he was having to 100% concentrate to like a little scared to play. He didn't have to play out of his skin to play okay. He just looked like he could do it. He looked like he was at the right level, and he looked really good. So he's got to have an 8.
Fair enough. Rosa says Shearer's testimonial was like that. Remember, I was there. The most bizarre thing happened during that, though, when everyone took off one of the shoes and started waving the shoes above their head. That was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. But obviously Celtic brought thousands down for that as well, and made for an incredible atmosphere. My cousin lives 56 miles away from the ground, and he says he could hear them. But then he repeats 6 miles, not 56. I was going to say 56 miles is a long way. Fair enough. 6 miles. Yeah, you definitely. I'll take Matt Targett, and I'm giving Matty Targett a 9. I thought he was superb last night. I really did. Crossing the way he was like linking up with Maxi last night was a joy to see, and a little bit of an inclination into what they can actually do as a pair. down that left-hand side. You know, if they really work together, they can come up with some great stuff. So I thought he was superb. So a 9 for Matt Targett. Billy, you can have Mr. Byrne.
Thought it was outstanding again. The fantastic leadership performance from the big fellow at the back. Not just a big fellow, he's got the touch of class with his feet too. Never looked in any danger at all during the whole game. But lots of passes out from the back as well. I thought he played a really good game. Definitely an 8 out of 10 for me for Dan Byrne.
Yeah. Fabian Scher, Alex?
I'm going to give him an 8 as well, because he was instrumental in him and Byrne together are a proper partnership and they have a plan together. So 4 out of 7 long balls for Scher until he went off. And just for context, so Dan Byrne got 30 out of 36 accurate passes. And the reason he failed 6 of them is because he got 1 out of 6 long balls. So when Scher went off, Byrne had to try and do the job of Scher. And it just goes to show how good Scher is at that job. His shot wasn't very good, but that's by the by. His, and the ability to play under pressure as well. They're just so good ball playing defenders. We've got 2 people who can play football at centre back, and it's
Scher hit one ball last night in the first half, a crossfield ball to Maxi, which was just incredible.
Yeah, he's a delight to watch. He really is. His passing's getting better. It really is.
I mean, sometimes they go awry and disappear into the stands, but you're right, Alex. They are getting better, and some of them are worldies. An 8 for me.
8
for Scher. I'll take Bruno first of all. Simple, straightforward. 10 for Bruno. I thought he was absolutely magnificent last night again. A quiet game maybe against Man City, but my God, what a game he had last night. Holding off defenders, just rolling them around as if they're just not there. The passing, the way he's so calm on the football, he doesn't panic. He just eases into the game. He's just incredible to watch. So a 10 for me. Dave says, looked like Hayden was saying goodbye on his social media today. Yeah, I've seen that tweet he put out saying wherever he will be, he'll be keeping a very close eye on Newcastle United.
Was he not in the ground?
Whether he's here or there. Sorry?
Was he not in the ground?
I don't know whether he was there last night. I didn't see him. However, he put out a tweet today saying it'll be incredible to see where this club goes, and he'll always look out for us, whether he's here or somewhere else. So,
even the lads who aren't registered, Kieran Clark is a slightly different situation, but everybody else, they've still helped us along the way, and they do deserve credit. So,
absolutely. Yeah. Del says the club put out a tweet in support of the young Blackpool player who just came out as gay, and the club got dogs abuse for it. We're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Listen, you're always going to get that, but listen, absolutely fantastic. A 17-year-old kid to come out to everybody as a professional footballer. Absolute hats off to him. An absolute credit to himself, his family, and the football club as well, who have obviously backed him 100%. And listen, for somebody to do that at such a young age is an absolutely magnificent thing to do. So hats off to him. And, I hope he goes on to have a fantastic career, because to do that at such a young age, in a football world is just, and hopefully people will follow him. Hopefully people will follow and see that, as a 70-year-old kid doing that and doing something as big as that is incredible. So hats off to him.
Well, I think the response from Newcastle United is an important one, because people do kind of tie us to the Saudi regime. And,
exactly. And that's why the dogs have been
LGBT,
wasn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was ridiculous, and it just shows that they are coming forward with their views.
Yeah. Right, Billy, you can have Joe Linton.
Outstanding, absolutely outstanding. Another one that's from minute 1 to minute 90, never stopped running, pressure on the ball, aggressive, created a goal. Definite 9 out of 10 performance, Joe Linton. Back to his best.
What did you give him there, sorry?
9.
9, yeah. I'd agree with that. I thought you were superb. Alex, Sean Longstaff.
That's a very interesting one. I wasn't ready for that one. Sean, I haven't actually thought about that he was tidy. It wasn't, we've already talked about him playing a lot better. In terms of what we wanted out of him, He was creating chances, 20 out of 31 accurate passes. Again, I liked his energy as well. He was winning his ground duels.
Mhm.
He was in the right places. There were a few times where Miggy was a little bit over enthusiastic in his press, and there was a bit of a hole at times. And Longstaff was part of the reason that got plugged, because obviously Joelinton is integral in floating left to cover that side. So Longstaff had to be alert, even though he looked like he did have a little bit more license. He had jobs, and they're not the jobs he's been doing recently. So well done. He was very switched on. I think I'm going to give him an 8. He didn't do anything specifically great, but
well, he had a big hand in the second goal. Let's not forget.
He had a lot to think about that he's not used to, and he did it very well. So definitely very good.
Yeah, excellent. Trippier was helping out from the touchline. I did notice that, Davey, to be honest, because it was incredible to watch. During the match, and to credit Lascelles before he came on as well, they were both standing on the touchline, giving all the players instructions. I thought it was incredible to see. I did say to the guys around us, look, there's our captain next season. It has to be. He is just such a leader. Chris is Simon Jordan on TalkSport criticising the new kit today. He's bought a car off the Sultan of Brunei. How are the human rights there? The car was a McLaren, which is owned by Saudi Arabia. Glass houses. Well, there you go. It's incredible, isn't it? Right, I will take on Maximin, and I'm going to give Maxi a 9. I thought he was fantastic last night. I really do. He did, and fantastic because, like you said before, Billy, he kept everything really simple. He didn't try and take too many players on when it wasn't necessary. He got a good shot in the first half, which was well saved by Ramsdale. But I think the combination again between him and Matt Targett was something to get excited about. Seeing them overlapping each other and laying the ball off to each other was great to see. And Maxi attempted a number of crosses last night. Sometimes they didn't pay off, but sometimes they did. They created a few options. Yeah. So it's a steady improvement, and I want to see Maxi really take it to the next level with that next season. So I'll give Maxi a 9. Billy, you've got Almiron.
Yeah, I thought it was very enthusiastic. Lots of confidence in him. Did some very nice things at times. Looked very dangerous all throughout. Wasn't hesitant in his attacking either, which we've accused him of in the past. Yeah, I thought Miggy had a very good game. I'm going to give him an 8.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. And Alex, Callum Wilson.
Ooh. See, this is a tricky one as a stat person because his stats are awful. And that's purely because his job wasn't to be perfect. His job was to just be really annoying. So the offsides and the little scraps and the fact that the goal went down as an own goal obviously hasn't helped his stats. Mm-hmm. So the stats don't speak the truth. The man was an absolute menace for them. I would give him a 9, but I'm going to give him a 10 purely because he's just come back from a long-term injury and he played that many minutes and he didn't sort of tire in his duties in the latter stages either. He gave 100% until he got substituted off, and he's only just come back. So to play at that intensity and level against a team, trying to get into the Champions League, I'm going to give him the extra point for the 10, purely based on that. And his quality, well, we saw his little back heel flick against City the other week. I'd forgot he could do that. He's brilliant. He's absolutely brilliant. It's lovely to see him back. 10 out of 10, 100%.
Super. Right, substitutions. Obviously Jamal Lascelles came on, and I thought he was absolutely solid. And I'm going to... Why are you shaking
I've got a controversial one about this. I thought he was awful.
What?
I'll explain. There is a reason. Right, so his defensive display, 7 out of 7 aerial duels, won all of his headers, did fine. 1 out of 10 passes, 0 out of 2 long balls, no tackles. So he made 1 out of his 10 passes. Granted, he came on as they were chasing the game and they were pressing very high. Fair enough. But for us to play the way we do in the system we do, I don't want a centre-back, especially a captain, standing there and making 1 out of 10 passes. It's not good enough. I thought he was terrible. Defensively, fine. Fair enough. But 1 out of 10 passes, absolutely not. Can't be having that in a team in the Premier League. I'm sorry. That's a Burnley caliber player right there. Tarkowski makes more passes than that. He played a long time as well. He was on for half an hour, more than that.
By the way,
So, sorry,
there's
guys.
pictures going around of Paqueta in a Toon shirt. Can I just say that? Obviously, we know he's over visiting Bruno at the minute. He's actually in Newcastle, so he's being pictured with a Toon shirt on, which is very interesting. Alex, I'm staggered by that, to be quite honest.
Sorry, I just when I was doing my research, I saw it and I was shocked.
Yeah, well, I mean, listen, obviously those stats don't make great reading, but for me, I thought he was fine. I thought he did really well. I thought he came on in a stage of the game where it was still 0-0 at the time. It was, and you could think, oh God, Lascelles is coming on. That might unlock us a bit for Arsenal to get at us. It didn't happen. And I've been very critical of Jamal Lascelles, as everybody knows this season. But
I mean, I
he did win. To be fair, and Yano says there, he did win 7 out of 7 aerial duels.
True. I mean, that's why I'm 50-50 with it.
Yeah.
I feel harsh, but we've got to talk about the passing as well.
I think the matter is, he cleared a lot of long balls, headed clearances. The fact of the matter is, there was no crosses coming in from either flank because the left back and the right back were so solid.
Yeah. But at the same time, we know Lascelles' passing is not great. It never has been. That is one part of his game that I really don't trust Jamal Lascelles with, is bringing the ball out and passing. It's never been a strong point of his game. But if I'm looking at more of a defensive side of the game yesterday, when we needed to, especially when we were 1-0 up and we were, I mean, Arsenal didn't put a lot of pressure on us. They had a stage where they had 3 or 4 corners, but we cleared them very well. But I'm going to give him an 8. I think because of the aerial duels that he won, and I'm looking at purely at a defensive side of it.
He was solid defensively. That's fair.
I'm not looking. I'm not actually looking at it as that is passing. I'm looking at it from a defensive point of view, and normally I'm wanting to hammer Lascelles, but I think after last night when he came on in the stage of the game, he did. Difficult to come into a game like that where he would expect Arsenal to come at him and really give it a go. Which
he did have his customary attacking header as well, which I like when he does that.
Yeah. So I'm going to give him an 8. It may well be his last game on Sunday for the club. I don't know. We'll have to see. The strong talk about Forest taking it back if Forest go up. I'm not sure how they've done tonight, to be honest. They played. No, is it tomorrow night they're playing or tonight?
Could always check. Sure.
I thought it was tonight they were playing.
Going into extra time, so
it's extra time.
2-1 Sheffield United.
Right, yeah, because the first
87 minutes gone.
First one finished 2-1 to Forest, didn't it? So yeah, level.
Yep.
Junior Turner, nice to see you in the house, my man. I saw that lad singing your song inside St James's Park. That was absolutely fantastic to see. I seen the tweet out there. He was absolutely bellowing his little heart out the banks of the River Tyne. Inside the stadium. It was absolutely fantastic, and again, that's what it was all about last night. Just singing all the songs, and it was fantastic to hear yours getting played again, Junior. It's such a brilliant song. So well done, and it was absolutely for a little lad to know all the words as well. It was brilliant, man, brilliant. Right, the other 2 subs, Billy, you will get Little Murphy.
Jacob Murphy, he came on. He was a threat at all times. I felt he was a little bit profligate in front of goal. I thought we should have scored another one with a 2-on-1 situation, but his pass wasn't great. And he also a couple of crosses that were a bit skewy, but he was a massive threat. Carried on with the press as had happened before, so I'll give him an 8.
I've just seen the picture. Lewis Paqueta currently playing football with Bruno in his back garden with a Newcastle shirt on.
Leon aren't going to be happy about that.
That's going to go all over Twitter. There is no doubt about that. Absolutely no doubt. Sorry, what did you give Murphy there, Billy?
8. 8,
yeah. And of course, Ryan Fraser, Alex.
Yeah, so he wasn't on for. Hang on a sec. He wasn't on for very long, but it was part of the. I'm pretty sure they came on at the same time. Which Eddie Howe is not one for double substitutions typically, especially when we're already leading. So I was intrigued by that. substitution, to be honest. But he did well. He did his job defensively. Again, we bought. It was less about what he did right, because he didn't do anything crazy. He just contributed to the system, which was 2 fresh wingers, defend when you need to, and spring the counter when you can. And it was a very good tactical switch, and Fraser played it right, because as Arsenal were trying to get back into the game, they couldn't go as far as they wanted because we'd got 2 fresh wingers. And again, it just. I know I'm supposed to be talking about Fraser and not Howe, but just brilliant management. So good.
It was. And listen, can we just say how bad that 2-on-1 was, though, between Fraser and Murphy?
Yeah, it was awful. Yeah.
Cocked it
I'm
right
give
up.
Fraser a 7 as well.
A 7, cool.
Yeah.
Right, Eddie Howe, for me, straightforward, a 10 for Eddie Howe. He got it spot on last night. The tactics were spot on. His substitutions were spot on. Everything about the game was absolutely perfect from Eddie Howe. So a 10 from me, Billy.
Absolutely 10. Yeah, tactical masterclass. One of the best managerial performances we've probably seen since the likes of Sir Bobby was at the club. It was absolutely phenomenal.
And Alex? Yeah,
it's got to be a 10. Yeah. Everything. I've tried to look into it deeper to see what they like the whole four balls over the top for Wilson to make them respect and give space to the wings early on. Like, there was so much. There's probably a lot that I've missed. I'm tempted to even go back and watch it again, because there's so much that they've put into that game that they're all discrediting it and saying Arsenal were poor. There was so much in the details there that was down to coaching and tactical decisions and the players understanding their roles that gave us that game. It was so much to do with the coaching and the tactics. Obviously, people like Bruno help, but I feel like the tactics were far more important than they have been in previous games. Yeah, it was brilliant. And Tyndall and all of them, because all the analysts and all of them will have been part of that. So well done to all of the staff. They were amazing, incredible.
Right, now we have to do our special awards. Billy, we're going to go with you first. Who is your special award to this week?
I'm proud to say I'm going to give it to someone from my hometown who gave an absolute phenomenal centre forward performance last night. All it lacked was a goal. Almost got that, just denied for Ben Whitefoot. But from minute 1 to minute 90, the effort he put in, the skill he showed, the volley from 40 yards just curved wide, and even the hold-up play before that was phenomenal. Also holding Lenny off. Thought he gave an absolute phenomenal performance, and my award goes to Callum Wilson.
Awesome, Alex.
So the stat award is going to go to Kieran Trippier for completing 1 out of 1 successful tackles against his own kid. It was amazing.
Yeah, it was brilliant. It was brilliant to watch. Well, my special award is going to go to someone that has pulled it out the bag twice now, and I'm going to give it to my good old mucker Billy Trey, because. Both watch-alongs that he's done, he's been hit with very circumstances, and he's pulled it out the bag twice. Yesterday, internet, laptop issues, whatever it was, but the commentary itself was just absolutely fantastic. And it was and like I said earlier, when I watched it back today, it took me back to the game. Remembering certain things that happened. So Billy, I'm giving it to you because I'm proud as punch of you, my man. You've done me proud, keeping doing the watch along by yourself yesterday and doing it so well, given the issues you came up against. And like I say, the commentary was absolutely fantastic. So you should be proud of yourself, man, for what you did. Really proud of you, my man. So well done. So you get my award this week. But that is it for the review. We hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please do give it the thumbs up and let YouTube know that we are a vastly grown channel over here. If you are new, there's been over 900 watching tonight, which has been absolutely phenomenal. So thank you so much to each and every one of you for tuning in. Please do subscribe if you are new and hit the notification bell so you'll be told when we do upload or go live. And of course, you can become a member of the Toon Review. Hit the join button just underneath the video itself, and that will. If you're on iOS, you'll have to go across to Instagram, like I keep saying. Hit the link in there, go across to the channel that way, and it will actually let you do that. So please do. Thank you to everybody that super chatted the channel. If you are watching the rerun, you can donate to the channel on a super chat still. You just hit the thanks button. It's a little bit along from the like button. It's got a $ and thanks written next to it. If you just hit that button, you'll be able to super chat the channel that way, even when we're not on a live. So thank you in advance for anybody doing that who is watching the rerun. And thank you so much to the mods. Thank you in the background, working hard again with the chat. Love yous all. And of course, thanks to Billy and Alex for joining me tonight. There will be more live shows coming up this week. I haven't scheduled anything yet because we need to know when people are available, etc. So just keep an eye open on the channel. Twitter, Facebook will let you know when we are planning to go live. But if you have hit the notification bell, then of course we will let you know. So thank you again in advance for joining us for the future shows. Of course, we'll have the preview for the Burnley game as well, so that should be good. And of course, we do have a show coming up regarding XG and FFP and how the hell all that works. Our stat man is going to explain that to us in layman's terms so that we can actually understand how all that.
I'll put some graphs and pictures up so it's.
Oh, we all
really,
love a
like,
graph and a picture.
and visible.
Yes, indeed.
Can we have a pie chart?
Pie charts.
I don't know if I can pie chart XG, but I'll have a go.
You can't beat the pie chart. You cannot beat the pie chart. It's what you. Hey, we all love a good pie chart.
It'd just be 99% Bruno and then 1% everything else.
Absolutely. But listen, guys, thank you so much. Please go across to thetoonreview.co.uk if you haven't already to order your mug. There will be more merchandise coming very soon: hoodies, shirts, etc., caps, hats. All sorts coming in the very near future. So get a good start on your Toon Review merch by visiting the website. But thank you very much, everybody, for joining us tonight. How are the lads? We're on the way up, and we'll see you very soon. Good night, everybody.
How are the lads?